you've seen those captivating animal videos online. Sometimes they leave you scratching your head wondering what's really going on there.
Hmm.
Today, we're taking an in-depth look at just such a moment.
Exactly. We're unpacking a viral clip. It features a bird and a fox, and, well, it sparked this fascinating interaction online. Huge conversation came out of it.
Yeah, it really did.
And this analysis, it draws from a bustling online community, specifically a Reddit thread. It started with just observations, but then it quickly blossomed into these detailed biological theories, surprising personal stories, and even like fully formed fictional narratives.
Wow.
It really shows how we try to make sense of the natural world, often, through the lens of our own human experience, definitely.
So our mission today is to kind of distill the most important insights from all those voices.
Yeah.
We want to understand the potential biological explanations, explore some surprising alternative theories, and also just appreciate how profoundly humans connect with and, well, interpret the animal kingdom through storytelling.
Right. So, starting point. When most people first see a bird seemingly harassing a fox, the immediate thought often jumps to aggression.
Yeah, you think attack.
Exactly. Maybe it's anger, maybe revenge, classic predator-prey dynamic playing out.
It's easy for us to see that as just pure anger, isn't it? But, like you said, these sources reveal that what looks like one thing on the surface, well, it can have vastly different biological reasons behind it. So what's the first big explanation that came up in the material?
Well, many of you have probably heard of mobbing behavior in birds. It's actually quite well documented.
Mobbing, right.
It's an avian defensive strategy. You get these smaller birds, like, say, a mockingbird, which is often seen in these kinds of situations, and they actively harass a larger predator.
Okay.
Typically, it's a way to protect their nests or their young, maybe their territory. And it's surprisingly effective, actually. It deters the threat or protects maybe a food source.
Okay, so let's unpack this. It's kind of like a bird's highly effective, maybe slightly annoying way of saying, get off my lawn.
Yeah, pretty much. And from the online discussions, it sounds like some birds are absolute masters of this. Almost notorious.
Like who?
Mockingbirds, for instance. They were described as super aggressive, territorial. I think the word assholes came up quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah. People shared these vivid anecdotes, harassing everything from cats and squirrels to crows, even dogs, often dive bombing them.
Wow. Dive bombing.
Yeah. There were stories of mockingbirds scaring dogs right off properties, making people, quote, dread seeing them show back up in their yards. One person even mentioned they had to be removed from a location because they were harassing customers.
Goodness. Okay, so mockingbirds are serious about it.
And it's certainly not just mockingbirds. Blue jays also came up frequently, often called mean as hell, especially, when they're protecting their nests.
Right, near the nest makes sense.
One user remembered putting on a football helmet.
A football helmet.
Yeah, and having blue jays come flying down and hit the helmet hard.
Whoa.
And it's worth noting, blue jays are corvids, part of the Corvidae family. Like crows and ravens.
Exactly. That incredibly intelligent group, known for complex social structures, strategic behaviors, which often looks like fiercely territorial defense. We also saw some really intense anecdotes in the thread, like a hawk snatching a sparrow mid-flight.
Oh, wow.
And later the sparrow's body was found, ribcage torn open, grim stuff. Another user saw a smaller red hawk full-on assaulting a bald eagle that was molting, just going for it.
So nature isn't always peaceful, is it?
Definitely not.
And it seems like even with these aggressive behaviors, people often misidentify the animals involved, confusing foxes for coyotes or maybe mockingbirds for blue jays or even catbirds.
That's a really good point.
That kind of misidentification, it really highlights how easily we can jump to conclusions, doesn't it? Especially when there might be an entirely different, maybe even more surprising explanation happening. Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's clear not all interactions are hostile. Many users proposed a completely different and far more benign explanation for what the bird was doing. It really flips the script on that initial assumption.
Okay, I'm intrigued. This is where it gets really interesting for me. Instead of an attack, what if this bird was actually just redecorating?
That's precisely it, the fur collection theory.
Fur collection?
Yeah. It suggests the bird is collecting fur from the fox, but for nesting materials. So it's pragmatic, not aggressive.
Okay. What supports that?
Well, observationally, according to the thread, the bird is often seen going for the, let's say, most non-threatening part of the fox, like its hindquarters or its tail.
Ah, not the face or anything vital.
Exactly. And the fox, in the video at least, often seems relatively unbothered. Some described it as just letting the bird get it out of its system.
Huh. So it's about animals using other animals' byproducts, maybe,
Yeah.
like shed fur or hair, in their own lives. The thread specifically mentioned birds using fox hair to build nests is a known thing, right?
Yes, that's the core concept. It's a fascinating example of interspecies resourcefulness. And this could explain why the fox might tolerate the bird's presence if it's not a direct threat and the bird is just grabbing some building supplies for its future home.
Then maybe the fox just doesn't care that much.
Perhaps. It's a plausible alternative to pure aggression.
What really struck me, though, as I went through all these comments and theories, is how we have these two very plausible biological explanations. One aggressive, one practical. Mobbing versus interior design. But this whole exploration, it also unveils something truly fascinating about us, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, humans inherently seek meaning. We love to create stories. And when we're faced with an ambiguous animal interaction like this, our minds just seem to jump to these dramatic or humorous or sometimes deeply emotional narratives.
Oh, absolutely. The thread was full of that. Really imaginative suggestions, everything from a weird love story
Yeah.
to Disney Pixar ideas. Someone suggested the fox was in training for a big fight, and the bird was its coach.
The bird as a coach. I like that one.
Or even Shrek and Donkey 2.0. It really shows our need to kind of impose narrative on the world around us.
It does. And among all these interpretations, one particular comment, it really stood out. It wasn't just a theory. It was a full, elaborate fictional story titled The Jay and the Fox. And honestly, it felt like a masterpiece of digital storytelling, pulling together so many of the ideas we've discussed.
Ah, yes, I remember that one. Incredible piece of writing. It describes this red fox, Remy, who, in a tragic accident years ago, caused the death of Lark the Blue Jay's mate, Junia, and their eggs.
Oh, wow. Heavy start.
Yeah, and so, for decades, Lark relentlessly harassed Remy, cawing, pooping on his truck, mocking him, shaming him, basically ensuring Remy carried his guilt every single day. And Remy never fought back. He just silently endured it, becoming, as the story puts it, a better fox through this penance.
It's quite a backstory for a bird bothering a fox.
Right. And the resolution is incredibly poignant. When Remy eventually dies, Lark finds a letter from the fox, expressing profound remorse, but also gratitude for Lark's relentless presence, saying it helped him carry his burden and, become better. Then Lark finds the small, intricately carved blue jay figure near a faded photo of Remy.
Oh, man. That's deep.
And here's the detail that just ties it all together so beautifully, connecting right back to our biological theories.
Okay.
In the spring, for the first time in decades, Lark is seen building a new nest. And what does he use? He uses soft and ready fox fur from Remy's old blankets and cushions, pressing it into the nest, as the author wrote, not as armor, but as warmth.
Wow. So it brings the fur collection idea back in, but in this incredibly emotional, symbolic way.
Exactly. It's this powerful, unique narrative weaving together themes of loss, revenge, guilt, forgiveness, transformation. It ultimately integrates that practical fur collection theory into a deeply emotional, very human-like tale of redemption.
This particular story, it just exemplifies how deeply our own experiences, our imaginations, shape what we see in the natural world. It wasn't just a discussion about animal behavior anymore. It became this canvas for profound human reflection.
And that really is the true power of this kind of deep dive, isn't it? Today, we've gone into what seemed like a simple animal interaction. But thanks to this robust online community, it revealed layers upon layers, biological explanations, practical behaviors, and this profound human capacity for storytelling.
Yeah, we saw how just one single image, one short clip, can spark theories of aggression or utility or even, like you said, a decades-long saga of loss and redemption.
He's quite something.
So maybe the next time you witness a seemingly mysterious interaction out there in the animal kingdom, consider not just what the animals might be doing biologically, but also think about the many possible stories we as humans might tell about it. And, what that says about our own deep-seated need for meaning and connection in the world around us.